The United States government is suing search engine Google. It's said to be the largest antitrust case against the tech company in more than 2 decades. In its complaint, the country's Justice Department alleges Google has stifled competition to maintain its powerful position in the marketplace for online search and advertising. We get you more on this in terms of what it'll mean for you and I. We're joined by World Wide Worx CEO Arthur Goldstuck. Thank you very much, Arthur, for joining us. So Google is over 20 years old. Why now?
I think it's finally become just too much in terms of Google's dominance of the world of search and advertising. There actually have been noises over the years, in fact since 2015, about antitrust action against Google. And in 2018, the European Union, in fact, took action and ordered Google to allow alternative search engines to appear on its Android operating system, which dominates the world of smartphones. But I think in the United States, because it isn't an Android-dominated environment, it's almost been under the radar, although even on Apple phones, which dominate the American market, Google has a dominant position in search. And it's a little like the chickens coming home to roost, but it's going to take a long time for these eggs to be laid.
Do they have a case to answer to, though?
They have a massive case to answer to. We've been arguing for almost 10 years now that Google is too dominant in global advertising, also in search to some extent. It's all very well to do your business well and to have a market leadership position. But when your leadership is so massive that you have 90% of a global market and the rest are scrabbling for the scraps, then things have gone too far. Then you are abusing your market dominance, not because you're dominating the market, but because you are insisting on arrangements with your business partners that exclude the small guys. So, for example, Google is known to have entered into exclusivity agreements that avoid or, in fact, according to the U.S. Justice Department, forbid pre-installation of competitive search services. They've also tied up providers in services that they cannot allow alternative or competitive services to enter into the environments in which they operate with Google.
So essentially, were they unethical in acquiring this large market share?
Many of their business practices can be described as unethical. They buy preferential treatment, and they also require exclusive agreements, which for a market-dominating organization like this is highly unethical.
Is this of any consequence to you and I?
Very much so, because we operate in an Android market where when we switch on our phone, we are entering a Google-dominated world. The way the Justice Department put it is Google is the gatekeeper of the Internet. So we're almost forced to go through Google.
This also sounds like it's going to be quite a costly exercise. You say it could take some time. What are we talking about exactly?
Well, if you look at the Microsoft antitrust case of 1998, that took several years to sort out or to settle. And even then, it didn't really damage Microsoft too much. So if they really want to get a serious settlement in this case, it's probably going to take at least the next 2 years, and Google could stretch it out even longer. If you look at some of the European Union cases, those have gone on for several years.
And in that time, Google continues to thrive.
Google thrives. Google has become a $1 trillion company, or close to that. It's joined the small elite of companies that will also probably come into the crosshairs of the U.S. Justice Department and the Federal Trade Commission. The likes of Facebook, Amazon, and again Microsoft are likely to come under scrutiny yet again.
Thank you very much for helping us make sense of all of that. World Wide Worx CEO Arthur Goldstuck.